One of the grim topics that we were discussing yesterday was that of smash and grab incidents at known hotspots in Cape Town. This was after I related the story of what happened to a retired teacher called Karin van Aert. She and her husband came to Cape Town on Friday last week from Bloemfontein, where they live. They were on their way up to Vredenburg to be part of a celebration of a grandchild's birthday. They hired a car at Cape Town International and they plugged the address that they were off to into the sat-nav, and it directed them onto the N2 and then along Jakes Gerwel Drive. And at the intersection of Jakkalsvlei Avenue and Jakes Gerwel Drive, a man approached the vehicle, smashed the window, attempted to steal Van Aert's handbag. She was stabbed multiple times during the incident and lost her life. And I've just in the last minute or so got a WhatsApp from, I just need to find it, from Sharon on the topic of smash and grab incidents on Jakes Gerwel. My friend was also a victim. There seems to be a pattern. She hired a car from the airport, punched in my address into Google Maps, and was directed via Jakes Gerwel. As she stopped at a red traffic light, someone smashed her passenger window, very quickly grabbed her bag with a hook, dashed off and got into a car 3 cars behind her. We spent the evening dealing with her trauma, cancelling bank cards, etc., reporting the incident to the police. After about 2 weeks, we got notification that the case had been closed. Nothing is being done, it seems. A lot of people, my view was that Jakes Gerwel Drive is not a back road through a dodgy area. I mean, it's a major arterial in the city of Cape Town. You should be able to drive down any road safely, but the bigger roads more so, perhaps. And I would always, if I were arriving at the airport and heading up the N7, that's the route I would take. But now a lot of people were saying what you do, the safer route is along the N2, M5, onto the N1, and then off the N7. And people were saying the law enforcement authorities don't care, they don't do anything about it. And I said, well, it's not that easy to do something meaningful about it. JP Smith, the Mayoral member for Safety and Security, joins us now via Zoom. Hello, JP. JP, look, it's more a SAP's responsibility, I think, than a Metro Police responsibility. But what are your thoughts?
So I don't want us to be in a situation where any road needs to be sacrificed, where we say any road is so unsafe that you can't travel along it. That should not be the case. But the reality is that there is finite limitations to the available resources. So Jakes Gerwel is by far the most problematic smash and grab hotspot in the city. There are others like Avonwood in Elsies. There are other intersections where we also have to maintain a presence. So sadly, it's not just one that we have to attend to, but the top 10 worst spots in the city generate around 70% of the smash and grab incidents that we're aware of, noting that SAPs don't share crime data with us. And it is absolutely not as if we've done nothing. I actually resent that part about the authorities don't care and don't do anything. I can't answer for SAPs, and you're right, this is a SAPs competency, but I don't want to hide behind SAPs. What they do or don't do, they must answer for. But I can tell you that from our side, we have made 25 arrests relating to smash and grab in the last 5 months alone at various of these hotspots. We use our drones and CCTV cameras to effect. We have made in the last 5 months alone 25 arrests relating and grab attacks. In addition to that, 29 operations we conducted this year at these hotspots, our 102 hours of surveillance we did, and 1,253 persons of interest that we approached on the road and checked for weapons, for objects that they could use to smash a window, etc., when the cameras or other observers or people who reported them identified them. So we have, far from doing nothing on the particular case, the very sad and tragic case of Mrs. Van Aert. We have also reached out to the local community, and we're supporting SAPS with that investigation. We've circulated a digital flyer offering the standard 20,000 Rand reward that we offer for all crime information to that community. We have had some information return, so hopefully there can be some progress on that case. And I have also approached the mayor to see if we could in-state hotspot patrols with neighborhood watches, something I've been lobbying for a while, but something that will require the city to put more budget to this so that we can use neighborhood watches to patrol some of those areas and sit there consistently. Because even though we have static patrols monitoring some of these, they are not always there. And an incident happens nearby, they will leave to respond to that incident and not just continue to sit there. And these criminals only need 30 seconds to do what they do, and in this case, with extremely tragic consequences.
Because JP, I mean, I appreciate that law enforcement is not doing nothing, and I don't want to get into the debate about SAPS and Metro Police and competencies and so on, because I think it can sometimes be a diversion. But I think it is reasonable for a citizen to hear a state official saying 70% of smash and grab incidents happen at 10 known hotspots, and to think, well, then do something more. Because if so much is happening at so few places, surely it becomes easier to concentrate available resources in a way that reduces that number.
Well, it's because we are doing something more and monitoring those hotspots with the cameras, with the drones, with static resources that we've managed to make those 25 arrests in the last 5 months. So considering how wily these attackers are, to have arrested 5 of them a month means more than 1 a week at these various spots. So we are absolutely, from our side, doing what we can. We do depend on the criminal justice system, not just to recycle those criminals back onto the street where they can do what they do. And Langa has known long periods where this particular attack has happened, long periods of calm when these persons have been in custody, in jail, but when they are released, unfortunately, this is what happens again. And the crime is mobile. So if they see us maintaining a significant presence in one place, or the officers are standing down, they'll hit a vehicle just further down the road. Our officers then have to move against traffic. It is a very tricky crime to enforce. Barrier walls will help. So we're constantly also engaging with departments, with SANRAL about the barrier walls on the N2, with the provincial government against the barrier walls on the small sections of road where they own. So we are attempting to use physical deterrence or obstacles also as a way to make it harder for people to commit this crime and flee back in between the cover of structures.
JB, I'm not sure what access you have to SAP statistics on this and what degree of congruence there is between your stats and SAP's stats, but what's the percentage of attacks that look, there's always violence involved because there's emotional violence, there's psychological violence, but in terms of physical violence, people being hit with blunt or sharp objects or being stabbed or guns pointed at them, what percentage is that versus the easier to deal with something stolen from you? You don't want that to happen, but that's better than having, being knifed to death, as happened on Friday last week.
I unfortunately don't have stats for how many of these robberies are aggravated robberies, or how many of the smash and grab attacks are robberies and how many are aggravated robberies. But I'm sure that a request to SAPS could yield that. I'm aware of, at the moment, 1,526 incidents citywide over that 5-month period. And you can break that down over the many different hotspots we have. And because I'm doing the interview from my phone, I could not get the laptop to open the link that you guys sent. I unfortunately don't have that complete list of sites in front of me, but they are spread across quite a wide area. And this means that there are many spots continuously every day where you have to be present. And of course, those resources change shifts. They do need to move to incidents or respond to incidents from time to time. And again, I'm sorry to make the point, but whilst we increased our resources by just short of 1,300 officers over the last few years, SAPS have reduced their staff by a little more than the same amount over that period. So if the city was adding resources and SAPS was keeping this, we would start to turn the tide. But as we're putting water into that bucket to fill it up, SAPS is scooping out on the other end, and that is making life very hard for everyone.
Councillor, I beg your pardon, Alderman JP Smith, Mako member for Safety and Security, thank you very much for talking to us.